entrepreneurs were soldiers and businesses their weapons, where is the battlefield? Have you ever thought about the challenges, the weaknesses, the pros, the cons that are behind the glamorous names that these brands represent? Voice for SME brings you a 360 view into the real life stories of small and medium scale enterprises across Africa. Welcome with me today, Temitope Jimoh, the creative director of Jadore Cakes.
Thank you.
She's an embodiment of talent. She does graphics design, web designing. She's an accountant. I mean, she's a lot of things. You're welcome, Temitope.
Thank you for having me.
So I stumbled across a tweet sometime this week from Melida Gates. She gave me statistics of the percentage of entrepreneur women in different countries, and Nigeria has like the highest number, 41%. Whoopee! So it means that, and for an average American woman to be an entrepreneur, 4 Nigerian women would have been an entrepreneur. That was wow. So for someone like you, how did you stumble into entrepreneurship? The figure is there to show that a lot of Nigerian women are into businesses. How did you move from accounting to baking? Tell us your story.
Actually, my story was when I started out, I started to work in an audit firm, a little audit firm, and I worked there for like 6 to, I think, about a year.
Oh.
Then I got a job in the bank, and the bank was the craze then. Everybody just wanted to be a banker, so I moved to the bank. And after 4 years, I lost my job.
Wow.
It was a rude shock, and I wanted something to keep me in the house and still be able to make money and be fulfilled. So I looked through the line of businesses I could do. When I was working, I was already thinking of what I could do on the side, but then it wasn't fashionable then. The banking job was giving people enough money to do all sorts they wanted to do. So I looked at cakes. As a child, I grew up in the kitchen, really, because I'm the first child in my family, the first daughter in my family, and my mother practically just gave me the keys to the kitchen, and I was always in the kitchen cooking for my family. Did I enjoy cooking? No, I didn't.
Did you like the power?
Yes, I like the power, because whoever offended me gets to eat the head of the fish. So what happened was I learned a lot of things while I was there, and what came to my mind was baking, because I love to see cakes, not to eat them though, but I love to see beautiful cakes, and cutting them was traumatic for me.
So you wanted to keep them beautiful?
Yes, just keep them beautiful. Let me look at them beautiful. It's edible, yes, but it's still beautiful. So I decided to start making cakes, and that's how I got here.
So has the business been profitable? How has it been? I mean, there's a lot of competition everywhere, a lot of cake makers and all that. Has it been profitable, and how have you been able to distinguish yourself, from other cake makers?
Okay. Profitable, did you say? Well, it depends on how much you do, because economies of scale will make you make a lot more profit than when you're not doing a lot. So that's why you see the big names being able to do a lot, because they have a lot of clients that patronize them every day. Profitable, yes, if you know what you're doing, it's a profitable business. Like I said, businesses take the form of the owner. So your habits would show in the way your business is being run. Your spending habits will show in your business. So if you like to buy things that your business does not need, just like you do in your personal life, it's going to affect your business. So basically, if you know what you're doing, yes, the business is profitable, but it's not profitable immediately. You have to put in the work before you can start reaping the profits.
So for you as a business owner, I know there are metrics by which you can, measure your success. You can measure your success by maybe your clientele base, your profitability, so many things like that. But one of my friends actually said something that, looking away from all those metrics, one of the very best ways for you to actually measure your success is when you actually focus on the main audience, which is your vision. Do you relate to that? Do you think you don't have to measure yourself based on what people would use to measure the success of your business, but are you staying true to the vision by which you started the business in the first place?
Actually, what happens is the vision is like, I call it a mirage actually, because you have a milestone all the time, and every time you surmount one, and you have to have a bigger one all the time. Most of the time, people think a vision just gets you there, and you're there. You are in the homeland. You're lounging. You're sipping your pina colada. No, I don't think there's anything like that. You have small ones. You have big ones, and the more you move, you achieve some. Some they are bigger. You have to set bigger ones. So there's really no end to it. It's just something that keeps you going. If today your vision is to be able to serve 1,000 people, by the time you serve 1,000 people, what next? You have to know, okay, my next after 1,000 is to serve 10,000. So yes, it keeps you going, but you have to keep renewing it. It's not stagnant. It's not constant.
So your vision has to evolve.
It has to evolve. If it's not working for you, you have to change it. If it's not sustainable, you have to break it down. So for me, your vision is a mirage. It's something you have to keep looking up to, and you have to keep working at.
How challenging has it been when you hit the brick wall? What keeps you going? Because I know it's challenging. Someone once said that if anybody could run business in Nigeria, then there's no place in the world that you cannot run your business. How true is that, and what keeps you going at times when you feel like giving up?
For me, what I say is, if there's someone that has done it before, I don't see why I shouldn't be able to do it. I read a book that changed my life, transformed my life completely, and that's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. What I do is I concentrate on the things I have control over. The things I have no control over, I leave them, and I don't get to complain about those things. If it's something that I can move from what I have no control over to what I have control over, yes, I do that. That's why you see me being able to take photographs. That's why you see me being able to be a graphic artist, to design my graphics myself. That's why you see me being able to do my website myself, because I've been frustrated doing those things. Initially, I had no control over them, but by the time I learn and master the art of doing it, I bring them back to the things that I have control over. So yes, has it been challenging? Yes, it's been challenging, but what are you focusing on when you have challenges? Are you focusing on the things you can't deal with, or you're focusing with the things you can deal with? If you focus on the things you can deal with, you'll find out that there's always a way out. So you just need to look through the problems and see the way out of the problem. And usually it's a lot more simple than we think. So basically that's it.
What is the future for Jadore Cakes? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line? Where is the future? Because, as a matter of fact, they say a lot of businesses close down in the first 5 years, of existence. I hope we don't see that happening to Jadore Cakes.
Like I told you, the going doesn't get me to a particular place, but it will make me cross different orders that I have. So I have plans for Jadore Cakes to be able to train people. I love to see people grow. I've trained a number of businesses that are bakers, and they've been thriving in what they're doing. It amazes me to see that. I see them like my babies, like I birth these companies. But the limitation in space makes it difficult for some people to be able to come for training. So what I do is I'm taking training online for people to be able to learn wherever you are in the world, whether you are in Ghana or you are in Liberia or you are in Nigeria. You can actually have me in the comfort of your home, taking you through the steps of baking. So basically, apart from that, I also want Jadore Cakes to be an household name, so that you can easily get a cake for your child's birthday. I'm passionate about children's cakes. If you look through my wall, you find out I do a lot of children's, because actually I think like a child. So I want Jadore Cakes to be an household name that will be able to service children and make them have amazing birthdays.
So I was going through your Instagram wall yesterday, and then I saw this very beautiful cake that looks like a tree. Oh my god, and I fell in love. And something just struck me. That have you ever had any time where someone gives you a very difficult job to do, but at that time, at that space that you are not even in the mood to actually get very creative? I know a lot of people in the creative industry say this thing, that sometimes I just don't want to get creative. So what inspires you? What keeps you going at that particular point? Is there something you actually just fall back on at times where you know you need to deliver, but you probably your spirit, or you're not just there?
I'm glad you like that cake. I liked it too. I surprised myself at times. A lot of times I do. The inspiration when I don't feel like, well, when a customer has paid, you have to do it. Whether you feel good or you don't feel good, but what I do is I always prep myself, because that's why I tell clients that you need to book in advance so that I can get myself in the mood to do that job. And whenever I'm doing any job, I think of when that celebrant gets to meet that cake and the expression on that person's face. I think of the expression I want to be on the person's face, and I interpret it into the cake such that by the time you see it, you're blown away. At times I blow myself away. At times, by the time that cake was ready, I was so excited. Everybody in the bakery was dancing. So that's it. But for me, I have to step. It's just like when you act, whether you're in the mood or you're not in the mood, you just have to get it done. So I prep myself up and get myself into the mood. But when I think of how the customers feel when they get their cakes, the feedback that I get when they call me, it makes me go on. It makes me want to wake up in the morning and get the job done.
You've been thriving so well. It's going to be a very good thing if you can have the support of the Nigerian government, trust me. So if you had the opportunity to talk to the president today, what would you have him do for your industry? Do you think there's anything that they can do to actually improve or encourage people who are in the baking industry?
Okay, if I have the president sitting right in front of me, let me step into character. Dear Mr. President, you're doing amazingly well with Nigeria, but we would like you to do some things for the baking industry. One, we need access to funds. We should be able to get loans to grow our businesses, to help in working capital management. We also like you to look through the tax reforms for the country in general, because we get to do a lot of double taxation. We don't really get value for what we do. Then we need justice. There are lots of people that do all sorts and they know because they can get away with it, they just keep doing it. We need NAFDAC to be on top of their jobs. We need our products, the products that come in. For instance, now when it comes to butter, that's the life wire of a cake. If you have bad quality butter, you can never make a good cake, no matter how good you are as a baker. We need NAFDAC to look into those things and ensure that the right quality of ingredients are being imported for our use. If you can do that, we'll be very delighted. It's excellency.
So how do you encourage young people who want to be like you? Because you're actually like an inspiration to a lot of people. You holding your head up high in the business world, trying to make a name for yourself and your business. What advice would you give to them?
My advice for the next generation is you get an education. There's no way you can short corner or short change or shortcut that part. You need an education. I've been able to do all this I'm doing because I have an education. Your education is going to guarantee your success? No, it's not. But at least it's something for you to thrive on, to work on. Whatever you're doing, be persistent. Be hungry for more. Don't think, okay, yes, today I can bake a cake. I bake amazing cakes. It tastes nice. Then you're satisfied. I'm never satisfied with a recipe. I think of how to improve it over and over again. And the record is there on my Instagram. You can go and look to the bottom and see how I used to take pictures. You see how I evolved, because I purposely did not delete those parts. You see how I evolved in my journey. So whatever you're doing as a newbie or as a new person, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that you cannot do if you set your mind to it. What you need to do is every day think of what you need to improve on to make it better, and before you know it, you are there.
I've had a nice time today with Temitope Jimoh at Jadore Cakes. I hope you had fun. I did. Thank you for watching. Please follow her on Instagram and on Facebook at Jadore Cakes NG. Thank you and see you next time.